Hello and welcome back to Sunrider Liberation Day Return. He slowly raised his hands over his head, and in front of him Sola did the same. Wait a minute. He looked around in confusion. Claude had somehow vanished from the room. Did she use her powers to escape? Before he could produce another thought, the Marines grabbed onto him and pushed him out into the hallway. T-minus 50 hours. Shields kept his hands on top of his head as the Marines shoved him to his knees. A wall of well-armed troopers in full body armour stood in front of him, and the human wall parted to let a man through to face Shields. It was... well, I'll be damned. Ah, crap. Cato Shields clenched his teeth as he stared down Cato Shields. You really do look like an identical copy. Just then, Chigara emerged from the room, escorted by a pair of crewmen. She immediately ran to the other Shields and embraced him.
Oh, Captain, I'm so glad you're here. What in the world's going on? I feel like the doctor gave me the wrong pills and I'm hallucinating.
Oh, trust me, this is real. The ship's security has been compromised by two intruders, and one of them happens to look identical to me. This fellow right here. Oh, fuck! My cover's been blown and now Chigara's playing along to my past self's suspicions, and on top of that, does my voice actually sound like that? I sound really lame. I thought my voice was much deeper. As if I don't have enough problems. I don't know what he sought to gain by kidnapping you, but I intend to find out.
Yes?
You're making a mistake. That girl's not who you think she is. In just a few hours she'll... Shields lost his words when another face emerged from the wall of Marines. Captain, we've secured Sola as well. As far as we can tell, she does not appear to be an imposter. She is insisting that all of this is a mistake, and that this man before us is the real Cato Shields. So, he's fooled Sola too then. Get her to sickbay, make sure she's alright. Take him away, boys. We can find out what he's after once he's secured in the brig. Resume the search for the other imposter. Keep the ship on high alert until she's been found. Understood, sir. As the Marines pushed Shields towards the brig, he tried to face Ava. Ava, you've got to trust me. I'm Cato Shields. Chigara's a prototype, just like you said, and if you don't stop her by tomorrow, everything we've worked for will be lost. You'll find a hollow inside the room. Look at it. Look at the evidence it holds. One of the Marines pounded Shields' gut with the butt of his rifle. Shut up! Ah! He felt two strong hands grip his shoulders and drag him to the brig. Ah, marvellous. Shields faced his doppelganger as he spoke through the intercom. Listen to me, you dumb oaf! I really am you! I'm from the future. Look, I've come to warn you of a massacre which will happen. He'd repeated his desperate warnings to his past self for the better part of the past 2 hours, but it was clear he wasn't getting through. Chigara is a prototype. If she enters the mind stream a few hours from now, she'll be mind controlled by the leader of the prototypes and carry out... The other Shields cut him off, his voice cracking with impatience. Right, enough about Chigara. I want to know how you got on board the ship and who you're actually working for. You're a prototype, aren't you? You guys started generating clones of me too now? Look, it was pretty weird when we discovered you prototypes were making artificial clones of Chigara, but now me too? What is it with you guys and making clones of people on board this ship? What were you trying to gain by trying to recruit Sola to your mission? And for what purpose did you kidnap Chigara? Ah! It is hopeless! There's no way in hell I'm going to be able to convince this blockhead that Chigara's going to cause a Liberation Day massacre. Not at this rate. The other Shields sighed in exasperation on the other side of the glass. And honestly, Shields was inclined to do the same. He was the one agonizingly stubborn individual to argue with. All of a sudden, he felt compelled to apologize for Ava for his personality once all this was over. He'd never really known he was this stubborn until now. Finally, the other Shields left the intercom with an irrational look in his face and spoke to Ava. A solid layer of reinforced neoglass separated Shields from the outside world, making it impossible to hear anything outside of his little fish tank. Oh, if only I could hear what they were saying. Wait a minute. I remember reading a maintenance request about this holding cell. Something about the cell door failing to seal completely. Maybe if I'm lucky it hasn't been fixed yet. Shields pretended to crumple to the floor in defeat and put his ears up against the crack where the gate came down on the floor. And sure enough, he could faintly hear the other Shields and Ava's exchange. Captain, perhaps we should consider this prisoner's warning seriously. Sola is convinced that this Cato Shields is telling the truth. Further, the hollow we found within the room directly refutes the Doctor's prior finding that Chigara is a human, and throws a grave shadow on all of the Doctor's actions for the entire duration of this voyage. In fact, I believe our next move should be to detain both the Chief Engineer and our Acting Medical Officer under suspicion of espionage. No. First of all, he's not Cato Shields. Ava, are you still going on about that? How many times do I have to tell you? The prototypes just want to show division in our ranks. This imposter's probably just their latest attempt at the same strategy. In fact, everything here falls under the same pattern of them trying to get us to turn on each other. We're one family on board this ship. It's that bond which makes us strong. The prototypes are trying to undermine it. No, you idiot! It's you who's so fixated on your goddamn family you can't see what's obvious to everyone else. Shields nearly banged his head on the cell door in frustration at hearing himself talk. Someone, please give this man a good whomp to the head. But Captain, that's enough, Commander. Continue to interrogate the prisoner. Find out what the prototypes are after. That's an order. Understood, sir. With that, the other shields left the brig, while Ava was left by herself, trembling with anger. It is you who cannot see the truth, Captain. With that, she stormed off into the hallway as well. Shields was left alone inside his cell, and all he could hear was the sound of his own breathing inside the tiny glass cage. He paced nervously inside the cell as time continued to tick by. Now that he was stripped of his uniform, and was wearing nothing but a basic prisoner's jumpsuit, he had no way of telling time anymore. So now what? Do I wait for Claude to show up again? Just where did she go, anyways? God damn it! A short time later, he heard someone knock on the door of the holding tank. Shields looked up to see Ava on the opposite side of the glass. She pressed the button to open the cell door. Ava? She immediately handed him a new set of captain's uniforms. Come on, I'm getting you out of here. I've managed to get my hands on a new set of authorization codes to go along with that uniform. You'll be able to access the same parts of the ship as before with that. It won't be long until security comes back. Escape through the emergency maintenance shaft, then meet me inside Lifepod 15, where there are no cameras. Do you understand? Yeah. Ava span round and left the brig as quickly as she had appeared. With that, Shields quickly put on his uniform and escaped into the maintenance shaft as ordered. T-minus 46 hours. He entered Lifepod 15 as he'd been told by Ava, and found her and Sola waiting inside. Captain, I feared for the worst when you were captured. Luckily, the commander saw reason once she examined the contents of the holo, and attached this plan to rescue you. It is thanks to her that we are reunited here. Alas, seeing you safe brings such joy to my heart. Ah, dark torment that our times together are so fleeting. Just then, a certain pink-haired ditz poked her head out from the front of the escape pod as well. Looks like you made it out the brig alive, Captain. Claude! Damn it, where the hell do you vanish to? Remember, I can't be put into a situation where I'll be forced to use my powers. When the Marines appeared, I activated my convenient cloaking device and temporarily fell back. It's more fun for me if you'd like to figure out your things for yourself, Captain. It's also safer for the space-time continuum, too. Please treat me like a normal girl. Using my powers to get out of this mess is strictly forbidden. Damn it, Claude. I bet she has some trick up her sleeve which would let us avert the massacre here and now. But I guess she has a point. Using her powers is outright dangerous, considering what we've learned about the law of causality. For now, we're stuck with what Claude can accomplish without time powers. Now that they were safely hidden away from the ship's various security features, Ava finally managed to relax, and they sat down alongside each other in the pod. Thanks for busting me out of the brig. You're really Cato, aren't you? Yeah, that I am. I'm afraid I'm the same Cato Shields who scrubbed the entire swimming pool with you during Advanced Academy, because all the other members of the Student Council quit. Then, what you are saying about the future is indeed the truth. I'm afraid so. I have disobeyed a direct order from my superior officer by bringing you here. If I am caught, I expect I will be stripped of my rank and confined to the brig myself. But the threat of the Liberation Day massacre presents to the safety of Sarah, no, to the entire galaxy, is so grave, I can no longer in good conscience follow the other Captain Shields down this path. The evidence inside the holo provides without question that our chief is a prototype. We must detain her. Sola has filled me in on the details of the situation. You must know this timeline better than anyone else. Cato, what are our options? Shields racked his brain for ideas. Okay, first things first, we have to warn Fontana about the virus before putting Chigara out of commission. I could still sneak into my office to send the message, but now that the ship's on high alert, that's going to be nowhere as easy as before. Judging from the fact that my security clearance hasn't been revoked yet, it appears nobody has realized that I have set you free. I could simply try issuing an order to security to distract them. And as for capturing Chigara, I'm almost out of options now. That prior kidnapping was a bust. I could try convincing my other self that Chigara is a prototype to entertain her, but that's a long shot at this point. Come to think of it, there is another option. When Chigara enters the Mind Stream, Asaga goes berserk, nearly kills her in my timeline. If we just change the course of events a little, we can get this universe's Asaga to kill Chigara before she has a chance to commit the massacre. That's murder we're talking about. Shield's chest chilled at his own thoughts. The safety of the entire galaxy is at stake, but to actually arrange the murder of my own chief engineer, not to mention... Once again, his memories of Chigara came flooding back to him. Ugh! His chest suddenly twitched at the thought of killing his former lover. Granted, she had been a spy sent to win his affections from the very beginning, but Shields was still certain the massacre was not Chigara's doing. She had merely been mind-controlled without her knowledge during that time, but certainly she needed to be captured, but to be killed? Not only that, but Asaga was merely a distraught girl in this timeline. Her attack on Chigara, a moment of desperation brought on by mental fatigue after multiple awakenings. To use Asaga like a puppet to murder her former best friend in cold blood? She knew that if he went down this path, he would no longer be worthy of being the ship's captain. In his own eyes, at least. But this is the safety of the entire galaxy we're talking about. What do I do? At a loss, he decided to ask Sola for advice. Tomorrow, Asaga will attack the Liberty while Chigara's inside the Mind Stream. If we just manipulate events a little, I think we could change the future by having Asaga kill Claude. Kill Chigara. What do you think, Sola? Indeed, the Queen's mental condition has deteriorated substantially due to her unrequited love for this universe's Kato Shields, and her multiple powerful awakenings. It would not strike me as odd at all if she were to attack Chigara during the battle. No, I was asking what you would think of me if I were to use Asaga to kill Chigara, Sola. Could you still call me captain if I were to do such a thing? This is ultimately Asaga's decision. If that is what the Queen of Ruvia desires, then I shall accept it. As for you, Captain, your actions will avert a massacre, as well as spare the galaxy a bloody war between the Alliance and Pact. I will look upon you as proudly as I have always done in regards to your decisions. A leader must bear the weight of his decisions, no matter the burden. Thank you, Sola. Okay, let me just double check our old friend, Yep, thought so. We're capturing her. First, we sneak into my office and contact Fontana, then we contact this universe's Kato Shields, and together and convince him to detain Chigara. Not convinced this is the best plan, but... put it this way, if those had been my options and I hadn't had a guide, I would still have picked that one, because... I don't want to kill her. It's not her fault, she's being mind-controlled. Understood. Convincing the captain to change his mind will be difficult. I hope you're prepared, Kato. I know. But, well, I know him better than anyone because... he's me. Come on, let's go. The trio climbed out of the service tunnel and dropped down near the captain's office. As expected, a pair of Marines stood in front of their destination, rifles held at the ready. Gonna have to figure out a way to get them out of here. It won't be long until they figure out you've escaped. For now, I can do this. Ava pulled her holo and used her command credentials to create a false sighting of intruders in the sickbay. And the guards immediately heard the alert and ran opposite down the hall. Oh, guess it pays to have the commander on your side. Let's move. Shields breathed in relief as he entered his office. Just because I'm home doesn't mean I can afford to relax. He ran to his desk and activated the FTL comm and put in a request to contact Fontana aboard the packed assault carrier Vei Victus. Transmission kept beeping, waiting for a response. Shields tapped his desk in impatience as the beeps continued. Come on, you blasted pretty boy, what the hell are you doing? Pick up your damned phone! Shields' chest felt as if it was going to burst as the transmission kept beeping. The hell is taking so long, Fontana? What are you, taking a bath? Preening in front of the mirror? What? Don't tell me it takes a full hour for you to get dressed and groomed for a goddamn phone call. You goddamn girly boy bastard! Just as Shields uttered those words, Fontana's face appeared above his desk. Or more like just before he uttered those words. Fontana stared at Shields with a decidedly annoyed look on his face. Then he cut the transmission. Shit! Shields furiously tapped the button to resend a transmission request, and finally Fontana appeared once more. What is it, Shields? Surely you did not call me in the depths of the night merely to comment on my face. No. Listen to me, Fontana. This is goddamn important. Your ships have been... Just then he heard the door to his office open. A lone Marine wandered in. Shit! Fontana, duck! What? Shields and his co-conspirators dived behind his desk. Fontana instinctively ducked down as well upon seeing everyone else react the same way. Fontana and Shields grimaced when they realized they were practically sitting on top of each other. Fontana's hologram practically merged with Shields' body. Ava couldn't help but notice their compromising position. Are you making up... Shh! Quiet! Listen, your ships have been hacked with a prototype virus. Tomorrow, they'll use it to assume full control of your ships and attack the combined fleet. You have to do everything in your power to undo the virus. What? Shields, if you speak those words in jest, I'm not joking, but I've got to go. Do it, or else we're all going to die tomorrow. And with that, Shields cut the transmission. Well, that went about as bad as it possibly could have. Let's hope he doesn't just brush it off as a joke. A man like Fontana would be far too careful to just blow off a warning like that. Kato, one bogey coming our way. Just one? I think we can take him, just me and Ava. Okay, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3! The two of them leapt over the desk at the same time, sending a pile of unfinished paperwork into the air. Unfortunately, a rogue sheet of paperwork landed right in front of Shields' face and obscured his vision. Shit! The Marine tossed Ava aside and raised his rifle simultaneously as Shields tore the sheet of paper from his face and lunged for him. They collided and fell to the floor. Shields immediately put his hand over the Marine's mouth and tried to strangle him. Unfortunately, a swift knee to Shields' gut, the Marine managed to gain the upper hand. And just as the Marine raised his gun to finish Shields off, Sola appeared behind him and smashed his with Shields' prized teapot. Ha! Oh. He cringed, expecting his prized heirloom to now be in a million pieces. But to his utter surprise, the teapot remained completely unharmed, and judging from the unconscious Marine, apparently it hit harder than reinforced steel. Wait a minute, Chigara reinforced that pot for me. Damn, that girl must have done something incredible to it. Still be in one piece after having smashed against someone's skull like that? I wonder if it's indestructible. Still, Shields took the teapot away from Sola and returned it to his shelf. Be careful with that. I am sorry. Ava looked around in dismay at the mountain of paperwork now scattered around Shields' desk. Get that look off your face. I came this close today to being killed thanks to paperwork. See? Told you this stuff was deadly. Only because you allowed it to accumulate. Come on, we've got bigger things to worry about. They ran out of the office before any more Marines could show up. However, as soon as they left Shields' office, the trio came face to face with a squad of Marines. Shit. Freeze! Completely outnumbered and surrounded by rifles, Shields had no choice but to completely put his hands on top of his head. Not quite what I was hoping for, but we could use this to our advantage. He faced his companions, but found that Claude had once again vanished into thin air. Looks like Claude decided to hide for now. He motioned for Sola to follow his lead, and she slowly put her hands on top of her head as well. Alright, you surrender, but I'm willing to talk. Take me to your leader. No need. The other Shields emerged from behind the squad of Marines. You've got some guts breaking into my office. What were you trying to pull in there? I just saved your ass by warning Fontana that the prototype sabotaged his ships. You'll thank me for it later. Captain, he is telling the truth. I saw him contact Fontana with my own eyes. Commander, you violated a direct order by setting the imposter free. And worse, I see that you're actively helping him sow dissension aboard the ship. Have you lost your damn mind? No. Lately, I fear it is you who has been acting strange. What? Sir, I do not know what words the Chief used to sway you, but you have put the ship at risk by putting your blind faith in her. I implore you to examine all the evidence at hand and detain the Chief until this matter has been fully investigated. The other Shield's face contorted in rage. You've turned my own XO against me! After all we've been through, you trust a prototype spy over me? Sadly, I was about to say the same. Ex-Commander Crescentia, I am relieving you of command. You will be confined to quarters until the battle is over so that you can be tried for insubordination. And as for you, prototype, the brig. Captain,
I fear you may have become corrupted by the prototype's influence. You must open your eyes and listen to the advice of your comrades. We are here to help you. We do not wish to see you in pain again. You too, Sola? It's useless. He's fallen completely under the control of the prototypes. Sola's right. It's do or die time. Shields lowered his hands from his head to the sound of Marines locking and loading their rifles. Shields, how about we settle this man to man? I'm you, you're me. Believe me, I've stood in your shoes before. I'm so damn cocky I couldn't see the truth dangling right in front of my eyes. Marines, hold your fire. The other shields marched up to his mirror image and they stood face to face. Alright, I'll bite. If you really are me, you should know all that Chigara's done for us. She's had hundreds of opportunities to kill us before, and yet every time she's defended this ship. To question her now would be tantamount to betraying my family. That's because she's a sleeper spy. Right now, all she's doing is winning your influence. When the time comes, she'll lose control of her body and destroy all that you've worked for. If so, what would you have me do? Kill her? Imprison her for life? Protect her from being controlled by the prototypes. This is Chigara's sake as well, and for the lives of everyone on board this ship, and the billions who'll be saved if this war ends now. I don't know what my future's like. If you think you're protecting Chigara right now, you're going to be in for a hell of a shock. You've got to do this. For her. Lies! All lies! Chigara will save us. She's all that matters. I won't betray her. She's everything. The other shields grabbed Shields by the scruff of the collar, and staring deep within his past self's eyes, Shields only saw a massive empty void as deep as the darkest trench. All I need is her! Shields struggled against his other self's grip as he raved with madness. You've been corrupted! Ava was right, this version of myself has become a slave to the prototypes. At this rate, reasoning with him is going to be completely useless. What has Chigara done to him? Marines, hold your fire. I am taking command of the situation. The captain has gone insane. The Marines looked around in a panic at a loss for what to do. On one hand, the captain of the ship had just relieved the commander of our authority. It was clear from his mad raving that the captain was no longer fit to lead them. You moron! Shields clenched his teeth. Wake up! Shields shoved his past self away and delivered an almighty punch right to his other version's kisser. Ah! The other Shields fell flat on his back against the floor, and Shields stood over him and bellowed. He bellowed the truth which only he knew, for he was not speaking to an adversary or a prototype puppet. He was speaking to himself. This isn't about Chigara! This was never about her! All of this is to exorcise the ghost which haunts you by the bedside every night. The ghost of the one person you regret failing the most. I know. I've tried to move on by finding a new future, a future far from war, surrounded by my children, but it's all a lie, a deception used by the enemy to control me. Me! Nothing I do will ever return Murray to me, nor will it absolve me of the crime of abandoning millions that day. But such is war. In war, scars are open, scars which may never close, scars which we must wear for the rest of our lives. But I'll be damned if I let more of my crew die because I couldn't face the truth. The dead are gone. Some battles end in nothing but defeat. It is time for you to face the truth, with both eyes open. Tears ran from both their eyes. Those were the words both men lived by. And no matter the torment, no matter the comforts Chigara may offer, Kato Shields would not close his eyes to the galaxy he needed to defend. His other self's face returned to normal. Commander? Revoke the Chief Engineer's security access and have her detained. The tension finally deflated. The Marines put down their rifles and all parties exhaled in relief. Sir! The ghost which spawned from that wretched day will never leave my side. All the more reason we should not gain new friends in the afterlife. With that, the other Kato Shields stood up and straightened his uniform. I am convening an emergency staff meeting. We will have to devise a new battle plan without Chigara's participation. Commander, get the lieutenant. And as for my other self, I'm sure his insight will be most valuable in the coming battle. After all, he's at least as smart as I am. Despite the two men being at each other's throats a second ago, Shields could not help but chuckle at his own joke. Shields walked into the mess hall for some food and drink, thoroughly exhausted after the staff meeting. He had told his future self everything he knew of the enemy's capabilities, while Fontana had informed them that his best minds were working around the clock to restore control of their ships, but it would be at least another 2 hours before the fixes were complete. Chigara had been safely detained in the brig, and so far there were no signs of the prototype leader assuming control of her. In other words, Shields had done everything he possibly could to avert the massacre. Now all that remained was to wait and see if his efforts bore fruit. Just as he was about to enter the mess hall, he saw Sola lurking behind the gate, peering into the hall. Sola? Ah, Captain. Not quite. It's me, future Shields. Can't say I'm the captain of the ship at the particular moment. To me, you will always be the captain, in any timeline. What are you doing hiding here? Is something the matter? No. I was merely observing a certain encounter. Encounter? Shields leaned his face into the mess hall as well, and saw the other Kato Shields talking with Asaga. A certain maiden seeks to confess her feelings. Wait, you mean Asaga's telling the other Kato Shields she likes him? That is so. No matter his response, this is something she must do before this battle, for the sake of the future. In my version of events, Asaga never could confess her feelings to me, till it was too late. I'm glad things turned out this way instead. In the end, the other Kato Shields merely smiled and patted Asaga on the head before walking away. She got rejected, huh? I guess it's the only logical outcome. After all, this universe of Kato Shields was head over heels for Chigara up until a few hours ago, and was never rescued by Asaga. Asaga put on a brave smile, despite being, no doubt, heartbroken, and marched out of the mess hall, towards the lift to Deck 2, no doubt to practice more in the simulator before the final battle. Unfortunate, yet such may be life. Now Asaga's feelings have reached resolution, and while this may not be the outcome she desired, she is strong enough to accept his answer. I am sure she will find happiness. One day. Oh, I am sorry, I did not mean to take your time. I was just here to grab something to eat. Are you hungry? Perhaps. I am in need of some refreshments as well. Then let us dine together. Alright, let's go. No doubt, the rumours of the captain's doppelganger had already spread to the four corners of the ship. When Shields entered, the mess hall went silent as every pair of eyes turned to him. Shields just laughed and waved. Hey everyone, I'm the second Kato Shields you've heard so much about. Relax, I'm not in command, you can keep eating without coming to attention. It's not like a lot of you even do that in the first place. With laughter, the crew returned to their conversations, and the atmosphere instantly returned to normal. I did not expect the crew to accept you so readily. These are still my men and women. Hell, the past year we've crushed a royal wedding, rescued 2,000-year-old Ruvian, and now learned the chief engineer was a prototype. Nobody's going to bat an eyelid at a future Kato Shields. I see. Shields went to the bar and looked through the day's menu. Huh, Ruvian cuisine. Looks like you're in luck for some home cooking. Not quite as good as you remember, huh? I'm afraid it's all thoroughly serified Ruvian food. Probably tastes nothing like the real deal. Maybe you should help out with the mess stuff. Help it taste more authentic? No. I'm afraid I am a poor chef. I have no culinary knowledge beyond what far-pot berries are edible and how to roast fish and wildlife. Sounds like a pretty tough life. We thought the Ruvians all had advanced technology beyond what we can imagine, but sounds like that wasn't really the case, though. That is the truth. The Ruvians' empire was far from monolithic. Instead, it was a cobblestone of thousands of conquered nations and vassals. In order to retain power, technology was held by the powerful, and I have no doubt the average Ruvian was far worse off than today's Alliance citizen. I provided for myself for the most of my life, until I was taken by the royal family. I gathered my food from the wild like the majority of peasants. That doesn't sound easy. The first of cod stew's not bad. Pretty sure the Union delivered us a live batch last week. Then, I shall partake. Right, I think that's a reasonable-ish point to end this part, so again, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next.